feel bad, that you feel bad about me feeling bad about you feeling bad about what I said about what you said about me not being able to share a feeling. Tick, Tick, Boom, released in 2021 and is directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda, who is making his directorial debut with this film, and is also behind the biggest musical endeavors in the last 10 years. The guy has written music for Hamilton, In the Heights, and Disney movies like Moana and Encanto. The guy's style just speaks to everybody. And this film is starring Andrew Garfield, Alexandra Shipp, Robin DeJesus, Joshua Henry, Judith Light, Vanessa Hudgens, and Bradley Whitford. Jonathan Larson is an aspiring writer and composer striving to achieve his big break into the Broadway theater scene. The problem is that his 30th birthday is on Sunday, and he has no major works yet listed to his name. But all of that looks to change with his workshop of his new post-apocalyptic rock musical called Suburbia that's getting a workshop this coming week. However, because Jonathan has been working on this musical for 8 years of his life and it's on the cusp of breaking big, he begins to start shutting out all of his friends and family to focus solely on this workshop. And does everything pay off, and does something big come out of this workshop? Yes and no. The guy did go on to create one of the biggest musicals of all time in Rent, and really changed the game about how musicals were produced on Broadway. Really, the idea of a rock musical wasn't really the big idea, or hadn't really been done on a big enough scale before, up until the musical of Rent in 1996. So yeah, something did good come out of this whole experience. The movie, though, and what happens, is very heartbreaking. The movie is, of course, based on Jonathan Larson's actual off-Broadway play called Tick, Tick, Boom. But the great thing about the film adaptation is that it takes the actual play of Tick, Tick, Boom, cuts it up a little bit, and all of the scenes in between all of the songs are done in real life and casual conversation as if they were actually happening and not being put on as a performance. Which there are points in here where we actually cut to Jonathan Larson performing Tick, Tick, Boom in front of a theater house, which it's just edited beautifully. The way this film's energy and pacing and plot cuts between the theatrical show and then the real life happenings and then back to the theatrical show and getting into Jonathan's inner monologue, it's all brilliant, and it deserves an Academy Award nomination. Probably deserves a win, in my opinion. But that's why I wanted to talk about Tick, Tick, Boom today, because the Oscars, the 2022 Oscars, are this weekend. And yes, this film did get a couple of nominations in film editing and also Best Male Performance in a leading role with Andrew Garfield, which is a must. You couldn't have that category without Andrew Garfield, because he is tremendous. But the fact that this film wasn't nominated for Best Picture, that pissed me off. When it comes to nominations at the Oscars, do the Oscars usually get it right? I mean, there's always Oscar snubs, things that I personally feel and that you personally feel should be at least nominated or should have won altogether. It's a small organization of all these film artists who get to vote on certain things, and it's kind of political when it gets to film studios advertising and presenting their films to say, hey, vote for us, please, I'll work for you. Basically, do the Oscars mean anything? No, they really don't. It's a bunch of people sitting in a theater really congratulating themselves on the work that they do. So if you like that and you love like 10.5-hour long award ceremonies, then go ahead and check out the Oscars. Hopefully Andrew Garfield wins, though, because he is tremendous and one of the best performers of last year. And this film is the reason why. I've loved every single performance of him so far. He is so genuine, and you can tell he puts 150% of himself into the character that he's presenting. And when he is performing that character, it's not Andrew. He is whatever character he's performing as. And in this film, it's no exception. It's one of the best things he's ever done. He is a theater guy. He's had training. He starred in a lot of Broadway shows. He was in Death of a Salesman, Angels in America, which kind of landed him the role of this with Lin-Manuel Miranda. The guy never had voice lessons, though, until this movie, which is so infuriating. Infuriating because he was so fucking good in this movie that you're like, that was from a year of voice lessons and you've never sung before in your fucking life? You asshole! And the most amazing thing about his singing is that you don't hear his native British accent coming out. He is singing in an American accent, which is so frickin' difficult. How he was able to do that flawlessly throughout this entire film, I have no idea. I have no idea. Andrew Garfield is caliber. He is a caliber actor. He has such versatility. And here he embodies the ideas and the just personality of Jonathan Larson perfectly. You have Jonathan Larson's actual father and mother who come in here and have small little cameos, and how they interact with Andrew as Jonathan is flawless. Like, I thought that Andrew Garfield himself was their son. That's how much of a connection that he had with them. It's so beautiful. And this whole movie is beautiful. It spoke to me. It spoke to this so much, being a struggling artist myself and going through that period of self-doubt and figuring out, God, what do I want to do with my life? I am an artist through and through. I'm an artist in my core, but also life and things, and everything is just taking its toll on me. Should I keep going and striving to be that soul artist, or should I get a quote-unquote real job? And personally, I was falling out of love with theater. I had a terrible theater experience performing many years ago, and you know, I have my degree in it, I teach theater, and I love teaching it, but my master's degree is in performing, and I just fell out of love with performing. Until I watched this movie, seeing the grind and seeing someone have love for something so passionately that they are willing to give up jobs and give up relationships to achieve just this one inclination of greatness is inspiring, but it's also inspiring to see the downfall of that. What happens when that thing that you've been working on for 10 years of your life happens, and then nothing happens afterwards? What are you supposed to do? And Andrew has those moments of hey, I've done this, so now what? And the only advice he gets is, well, you write the next one. And that right there is the best advice that anyone can ever give an artist. Because when you're an actor, when you're a singer, when you're a performer, when you are an artist, it's not a set job. You don't clock in at 9 o'clock and clock out at 5. You are constantly grinding to get yourself out there and to get your art seen by people. And the only thing that you can do as an artist is to keep going. That's the entertainment business. It's not what you have done for me, it's what have you done recently. And this film embodies that. It is heartbreaking, it's also hopeful, it brought me to tears, it made me laugh, and a musical or a film based on a musical hasn't done that in so long for me. And the music in this film only amplifies it. Come to Your Senses, a song that I've never heard before, had me bawling, had me in tears, just because you're following Jonathan's journey all up to that point. You see him struggling, you see him stressed out, you see him end relationships, you see him end jobs, just to get to this one point where his art is being seen by everyone. And then when you get to that moment, you close your eyes and you know what? You don't see your art anymore. What you start seeing is the thing that is important to you, and that is the person that you love. Oh, that fucking got me. God! And again, the editing of that sequence, how it's edited from the actual performance with Vanessa Hudgens, who is singing the actual song in the workshop, cutting between her and Alexandra Shipp, singing a duet here. It is so frickin' beautiful. I could listen to that song all day, every day, until the end of time. I will say this film does have a detriment, and it's nothing like the film's fault at all. It's just the therapy song is so overdone. When I was in college and I was learning the craft of acting, I would go to these theater festivals and theater competitions, and people would do either musical scenes or scenes to compete for scholarships and stuff like that. And there was one year where there were literally 10 different people going up there and singing Therapy. And it got ridiculous. It's so overdone. So when it started playing here, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I tried to block that song out of my head. It's a good song. It's a really great performance song, but so overdone. Any film that causes that little butterfly inside of me to start fluttering again, and something that really hits me here and here, it's freaking perfect. And it's so inspiring, and I love this film so much. And I love it so much that I actually made it a part of my curriculum during this semester. So I tell my students, I'm not going to force you to go see the live productions at our school because, you know, COVID and the pandemic and everything. I'm not going to force you to put yourself out there with other people. But here's an amazing amazing movie about a musical, an adaptation about a musical that just came out with great performances, great editing, great message. Let's have this be the final project. Let's have you write your review on this, because this film is amazing and I hope my students enjoy it. All of them are non-theater majors, so hopefully the non-theater majors love it, and hopefully everyone that checks it out on Netflix, it's free. It's a really easy watch. Hopefully all of you enjoy it as well. I'm gonna give Tick Tick Boom 4.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
So guys, have you seen Tick Tick Boom? What did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this video, then comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you know the next time I release my next movie review. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.